It's cold out there, but who cares, because in front of me are a pair of shoes that I have, well, not these shoes in particular, but these are a model that I have skipped on over the last couple of years. They are the Jordan 36 Low, and I am super excited to break these shoes down in this video and also compare them to the mid. Let's get into it. I have covered the Jordan 36 mids, I guess they would be known as, on the channel before. I will link that video in the description below. Go ahead and check that out if you're interested. And I guess for these shoes, you will find that anything I say today about the Jordan 36 Low is probably going to be a repeat of whatever I've said in that video, because the two shoes are just so similar. Apart from a couple of design cues and some obvious differences in the amount of ankle coverage, they share so much in common. The uppers, the cushioning system, as well as the outsole and that traction pattern, which is the same. They do differ a little bit in some of the design elements, and obviously one has less ankle coverage than the other, but what you will find is that for the most part, both shoes are the same. And just because I can, I will now show you some side-by-side footage of me wearing both the Jordan 36 mid along with the 36 Low, just so you can see how similar they actually are when they are on foot. The on-foot feel is also similar between the two shoes. From a sizing perspective, in case you don't plan on watching that 36 mid video, it runs true to size, the 36 Low that is, along with the regular 36. I usually recommend going true to size for any of the more recent Jordan performance shoes. I find that there is a lot less room to move, definitely compared to their lifestyle models and any of their retro models. Most people have access or have bought or are on the verge of buying a pair of Jordan 1s. I do not recommend using that as a shoe to guide all of your Jordan purchases, only because I've found those shoes to run quite big and they do have a lot of room to kind of move around in. You could go a half size down, and some people could go a full size down, depending on how you want that shoe to feel. The Jordan 36 is naturally a performance shoe, not a lifestyle shoe pretending to be a performance shoe or a shoe that is based on a performance model. It is their flagship performance offering. And so you will find a lot of the elements on the shoe are catered for that, not catered for lifestyle wear. The rest of the shoe feels like a performance shoe. The upper is this jacquard lino weave, which I've said feels like a Hessian sack a bit, at least when you touch it. It doesn't feel quite that bad on foot, but one of the things they were trying to achieve with the Jordan 36 was creating a shoe that is as lightweight as possible, and so using an upper like this makes sense. It's lightweight, but it's also really well ventilated, and so I think it serves like an additional purpose for those of you planning on wearing it on really warm or hot days. It's going to keep your feet as cool as it can get. The cushion in the shoe is, look, I'm going to say it's firm. It's not uncomfortable, but it is firm and it is quite stiff. So that is something you need to be aware of. You're not going to get the same feeling that an Air Max gives you from a Jordan 36, nor should you. It is built for a really different design purpose. You know, looking at the Eclipse plate, and you've got this, you know, really hard piece of material wedged to the middle bit of that exposed midsole, just to make sure that your foot can be as stable and secure as possible when you are completing some of these crazy lateral movements that one would complete when they are playing the game of basketball. As far as how the Jordan 36 Low compares to the 36 mid. The tongue on the, what I'll call the mid version, feels a little bit more padded than that on the low. It's just like a touch more padded. It could be because of the different material that they're using on the tongue of the 36 mid, but there is also a pull tab on the tongue that isn't on the 36 low, which I'm not totally mad about because I quite like the way the tongue pops on the 36 low. It's just got more room for that really big Jumpman logo to just stand out. And on this colorway, I think it looks fantastic. That black tongue with that peachy pink Jumpman just looks. The Jordan 36 low has a lace lock as well that the Jordan 36 mid version doesn't have, but that's also because the mid has this kind of like covering that comes down from that pull tab that I guess gives a little bit of extra, I don't know, whatever it is. That's on the 36 mid and the lace lock is on the 36 low. The material mix on the uppers is slightly different. I mean, what you will see on the 36 mid naturally is a higher cut with a more of a straight edge to that heel collar, and because it's naturally a bigger heel collar, there is more material covering that area of the shoe. It feels like a different leather as well. It feels just as padded as the heel collar that you get on the 36 low, but it's just a different material than what you'll find on the 36 low. That could just be colorway specific, but it is something to point out. The shape of that heel collar is slightly different just to cater for the nature of the shoe. Probably more significantly with the upper is the sandwiching of the lino weave. The mid basically has the midsole setup and then the jacquard lino weave and then the leathers that make up the eye stay and heel collar. The Jordan 36 low has an additional leather panel on the lower part of the upper, and I think that really provides a nice look for the upper. You know, it almost looks like this really sleek sort of like implementation of that jacquard lino weave. I don't really notice anything different on foot. I don't feel like one lets more air in than the other, or that one is more structured than the other just because there is a little bit more material around that fairly lightweight mesh. I just think it is a different look to the shoe. As far as the underfoot feel, like I've said before, they are exactly the same and don't feel any different. But what you'll also notice is that from a design perspective, they're identical. Even if you look at where the rubber wraps up on one compared to the other, the use of the pinstripe, the way that the eclipse plate work, even the traction patterns and the way the outsoles are set up, it's all exactly the same. What does it all mean? It means that you simply have more Jordan 36 options to choose from that give you about the same feel that you would get from the other. That's not to say that they are exactly the same. You may be the sort of person that needs that little bit extra stability around the ankle, in which case you would go for a mid. But for most people, and especially if you are planning on using it as a lifestyle option, you can pick based on colorways, and I assure you, you are getting a very similar feel on foot. There are some slight design cues that are different, and that might also sway your decision. You might not be a fan of the additional material on the upper, or you might prefer the way the tongue is set up on the 36 mid, in which case you can pick the colorway on the model that you like. I like them. The 36 low, that is. I also like the 36 mid. If you do watch my other video, you'll know that I do like it as well. But I'm interested in what you guys think of the 36 low and how you think they compare against the mid. Let me know in the comments below. But until the next video, laters.